It's ranking time. What is going on, my YouTubers, subscribers? Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend, because I wanted to do something extra fun for you guys to end off the month of January 2025 by celebrating all the movies that I have personally seen this month, and just pretty much making a ranking video of all the movies. Instead, I'm going to do this like at the end of every month, just kind of a recap video of everything I've seen to talk about. These are not going to be reviews for these movies, just my general thoughts on like, okay, these were the best movies of the month, and these were the crappiest movies of the month. So get used to seeing a new ranking video at the end of every month, starting with January, February, March, all the way to December. So hope you guys know that. Let's have a good time and let's talk about movies. That's what we do on this channel. We talk about movies and such. That's what we do. Welcome. Just a quick disclaimer, as always, I have not seen every movie that's came out this month, nor will I have seen every movie each month. These are just the 6 movies I've seen so far, starting with the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So yeah, let's just do it. Let's talk about it. Just so you know, because I have not seen Dogman. I don't want no one to be like, why is the Dogman on the list? Why is the Dogman on the list? I don't have kids, so I didn't see it. That's your answer. Working our way from the bottom to the top, I'm going to say the first movie on this list is definitely the worst movie of January. It's definitely going to have to be Wolfman. I hate to say it, but this movie was definitely a big old nothing burger, because the movie was bland, the movie was dull. The movie really had no interesting enough moments in it to really justify a ticket price if you had to go see it. Even the Wolfman character himself, when he actually wolfed out, he actually looked more like a mutant than an actual wolf, and the 2 main characters in the movie were just boring planks of wood. So unfortunately, I have to say that Wolfman is definitely bottom of the barrel, number 6. Now coming up number 5 for me is definitely going to have to be Den of Thieves 2. It's another movie that I'm gonna just like, it's a big old, again, nothing burger. A movie that was too overly long. A movie had 2 characters that kinda had somewhat chemistry, but it's just a story that just felt like a utter muddled mess. The movie does have some interesting elements in it. Like I said, the heist aspect that's towards the end of the movie, that was actually pretty thrilling and pretty engaging, but to sit through an hour and a half to get to that point, definitely not worth the ticket price. I definitely can't recommend this movie. This movie would probably be much better if you watched the first movie along with it as a companion piece. So that's why Den of Thieves 2 easily the number 5 on my 6 movies I have seen this month in January. Coming number 4 for me, rounding off the bottom half of this list, it's definitely gonna have to be Flight Risk. It's a movie that, oh man, again, I recently just saw it, and I gotta say that the characters in the movie were just, again, annoying, get on my nerve. If it wasn't for Mark Wahlberg giving his best Larry the Cable Guy impression, or Topher Grace is pretty much being Eddie Brock from Spider-Man 3, his movie was pretty generic. The movie was pretty like, it had potential to be good, but ended up being like one of those forgettable January movies that you're going to be like, hey, yeah, that did come out in January. Totally forgot about it. And that's why Flight Risk, it definitely number 4 on the list. Coming at number 3 for me is definitely going to be an interesting take, but I will definitely say that Presence is definitely number 3 on the list, because I feel like it was an interesting story they had to tell. I like the idea of this POV kind of scenario we're going with this ghost that's observing this family in this house that's going through this tragedy, and it does have an interesting story to tell. Like, there are layers in it, but I feel like the movie kind of fumbled the ball towards the last half of it that made it kind of feel like, a bit underwhelming. So it's a movie that I think that people will enjoy, and it will find an audience on the small screen when it streams on Hulu in like 2 weeks or so. So I definitely feel like it's not the worst movie of the year, but definitely right there in the middle. So that's why Presence is definitely number 3 in January. I'm not the top 2 movies. I'm going to have to say number 2 might be a little controversial, but Peter Pan's Nightmare was definitely one of the better horror movies that have came out in January. Being the newest installment in this Winnie the Pooh horror universe they're going with, I definitely feel that Peter Pan as a straight up slasher movie wasn't too bad. It was kind of a Frankenstein of a few other movies like Black Phone and Terrifier, and it definitely feel that at its core, Peter Pan definitely has an audience and will have somewhat of a cult following, and maybe these movies will be better once they all are out and the Winnie the Pooh Avengers come together. But as a straight up just horror slasher movie, I feel that Peter Pan was a cut above the rest. I have to say the best movie I have seen this year is definitely going to be one I just saw this week, and that is Companion. I definitely feel like as far as thriller movies go, this was definitely a home run for Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Without going into too much spoilers, I feel like the idea of this robot who ends up realizing that she is a robot. It just pretty much had to deal with the shithead that is her boyfriend and the scenario that he puts her through. It makes for a very entertaining film. The movie has a great blend of horror, a great blend of suspense, a great blend of comedy that all works together to make a pretty entertaining movie that I feel everyone will have a good time watching this weekend. So that's why Companion is definitely the #1 movie of January. And there you have it. Those are my top 6 movies of the month so far. Yeah, made it through January, guys, so that means February we got a lot of heavy hitters. We got a bunch of horror movies, thriller movies. We definitely got our first Marvel movie, Captain America, Brave New World. Hope it's good. We'll see where that all ranks up next month in February, but what is your top 6 or top whatever movies you've seen this month? Type below. Let me know. Talk about it. I read comments. I like talking to you guys. I don't bite hard. See you guys in the next video. Have a great, safe weekend, and as always, subscribe. Until next time.